Hey guys, welcome to today's extra spicy video. I'm in a mood. I have been at home in the snow, unable to leave, and I've been thinking a lot about trends online. I have things to say. These are my hot takes, trends that I believe should be canceled in 2026, the things that I personally have had enough of, and I'm sure that there are people out there watching that have had enough of them too. Now, this list is very unserious, with one exception that I think is actually really serious, and I think we should all be paying attention to, and we are gonna hop into that. So I'm in a lighthearted, spicy mood. We're gonna start with hair, with the different avenues that bucket us into a lane of being millennial or Gen Z. I am sure that you guys already know what I am going to say. The parting of the hair. What is it? Like, I go online and literally I see women that do a side part like me get called out for their age, and I think it is beyond hysterical. Or that a side part altogether is just hideous on anybody's face. And I am here to share, just loud and proud throughout this video, a lot of our visual goals, like things that we hope to obtain, like the way that we want to present ourselves, have to do with balance and harmony, to do with your own individual style, who you are as a human, your face shape, your height, your weight, the color palette that is best for you. Like, there are so many factors that go way beyond a trend. And I'm really, really motivated. There's something this year that I really want to take on and do, and that's talking more about color theory, talking more about how to be more aesthetically pleasing for you, the individual, beyond the trend. So if you want to see a series on that, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your feedback with what you want to see first and what you are most intrigued in. The other trend that I cannot stand. Me personally, and it probably is more personal because I think it's ugly AF on me, but the slick back bun where literally you're taking half a bottle of hair gel and just like flattening it to your head and you look like a studious alien. You look like you're about to get in your spaceship and have a galactic moment. It's just not for me. It looks very uptight. It looks very crunchy or greasy to the touch, and I just can't get into it. But let's get to the serious one, because this I actually have a legitimate gripe about. We're gonna talk about AI. There are great things about it, and then of course, as with anything, there are terrible things about it. We're gonna talk about some of the more terrible that I've recently seen that is giving me the biggest ick in the world, because I feel deceived. There has been so much drama over the years in the beauty space about who's being honest and who's not, and who's just saying whatever for a paycheck. And it's been this whole storyline. Well, in marches AI, and they are not human beings. These are not real people, and they are selling product. Let's take a look. I'ma be on the next lap. I'ma be rocking over that bass track. That is a digital sweater. That's not the real thing. You're not getting an image of what the sweater actually looks like. And also, it's not just like pinned to a model, which they do that, like in photo shoots. They will often like pin the clothing to make it look better. But now with AI, they can just make everything look like it fits perfectly. You order it, you get it, and it has no shape and it doesn't hug your curves the same way, and it's all just a lie. And then you have other AI bots selling skincare and talking about how something healed their acne or their melasma, and it's like, you're not real. Like, how is this legal? Like, why is this happening? But here's where it gets really interesting, and by interesting, I personally think disgusting, is when there are AI channels on TikTok or elsewhere where the bot that is not a real human being, like you could not track this person down, they don't exist, is saying things like, I've been a makeup artist in the game for 20 years, I'm an expert. Here's what I would recommend that you go buy from Sephora.
Working over 15 years as a makeup artist, you start seeing the same patterns over and over again. After 35, some foundations still move with the skin and others start breaking down and showing more texture.
Now, 9 times out of 10, there's a motive with a brand behind it. So you will see that they will be ripping apart these other brands, which is like, oh my God, really bad for these other brands. They're not even getting a fair chance of a real human saying, you know what, this was a little heavy, it's not full coverage, this is why I liked it, this is why I didn't. It's literally just a script that a machine wrote, and then there is a machine-written fake AI bot talking like they're the expert, and they're highlighting the one product that they want to sell and then dogging on the rest. And you go to the comments and it's really crazy to me because I can spot AI pretty quickly, but you go to the comments and so many people are like, oh yeah, I love that foundation, or oh man, who is this guy? Or oh hey, like I don't think that was fair what you said about Fenty. It's so mind-blowing. Have you guys encountered this? Let me know in the comments. Let's start this conversation. I think we are entering a wild time where we need to have discernment when we are seeing things being shared online as far as product recommendations. And also taking things with a grain of salt, because there is oftentimes motive, especially when a fake character is just kicking another brand in the face. Like, I think this feels very, very wrong. Let me show you. Okay, these are two different videos. Do we notice the script is the same?
Grande lash.
2 out of 10. Lashes grow fast, sure, but so does the irritation. Burning eyelids are not
Grande lash.
2 out of 10. Lashes grow fast, sure, but so do redness, darkness, and regret.
Oh my
Luxury
God.
shouldn't feel like a toxic ex.
Tara's honor.
Luxury shouldn't feel like a toxic ex. Is that not so ChatGPT? Like, you can see that a mile away. When the script is super, super cheesy, I personally like leave my body for a moment and get such a huge ick. I cannot. Now, I spy this with a lot of creators and like, no shade, we're all gonna use AI. It is what it is. It's just how we use it responsibly and with integrity is what I'm trying to get at. But a lot of people already are using hooks from AI, and like, you can always tell. You can always tell because it's so cheesy. I roll on YouTube with a few notes of things that I've tried, things that I want to say, but I've never worked off of a script, and I don't want to change that, and I'm holding on for dear life, like not wanting to go to that easy route that would get me maybe more views just because what you're saying is going to read as something that's more viral psychologically, so like it's a whole thing. But when you see two different accounts using the same script with a different fake person, because this person is not real, it is truly Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone.
8 out of 10. Gentle, grown, zero eyelid trauma. She's not loud because she doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
Quiet growth is hot.
Ordinary.
1 out of 10. This is hydration cosplay. Safe? Yes. Effective?
Hydration
Babe,
cosplay.
where? Comfort without results is a flop.
Nano lash.
8 out of 10. She's
Okay,
strong
Lux
and
Lash is gonna
delivers
be
real
it.
growth. Sensitive eyes read the room, but the results? Loud.
Lux, 100 out of 10. Nothing beats this. No burning, no drama, just growth. Quiet luxury, repeat buys, main character.
They're right.
Lux Lash, you will never be on my channel. And I am telling you guys loud and proud right now that if any brand out there uses a fake person claiming to have knowledge, industry expertise, whether they're saying they're a dermatologist or a makeup professional, I will not be supporting these brands, period. Oof, it just gets me. It just gets me. This one is even worse.
If you're over 45 and still use these foundations, I already know your makeup looks dry and heavy. After 18 years in makeup, I can tell you exactly which ones age you instantly and which ones make you look 10 years younger.
Maybelline Fit Me. 7
Okay,
out of
do
10.
we
This is
see?
one of the best
Do we
lightweight
see?
foundations if you want.
So sneaky. We see the real human hand in Ulta. So your brain is going, this is a real human. This is a real person. Look, they're in the store. They're holding the product. But the voice and the intro is not a real person. We're going to keep it moving and get back to trends that I hope are canceled in 2026. This was the more serious one that I think we all need to look out for. So you have been warned. Okay, we're going to talk about makeup aesthetic. Now, I think a lot of you guys are going to know immediately the trend that I think needs to be canceled in 2026. And I'm not saying we need to go 10 years back to 2016, which holy smokes, can we believe it's been 10 years? Oh my gosh. But clean girl aesthetic has had its moment. She has been here, she has done her thing, and it is time to go. And I, again, am not suggesting a 2-hour process with a cut crease and so much chiseling and all the crazy things that we did back in the day. I'm suggesting a happy medium because we are now going from clean girl aesthetic, I'm seeing a lot of this still, where it takes a lot of time to look like you're wearing no makeup. And the part of clean girl that I do enjoy is focus and emphasis on skincare. I think that part of it is great. And again, wear the makeup you want to wear that you feel good in. But I personally was getting so frustrated trying to do this aesthetic and being like, you know what? It's just not for me. It is just not for me. I love my fake lashes. I like my plumped lips. I like a little bit more as far as being okay with looking like I'm wearing a little bit of makeup, like maybe not as heavy. I am starting to lighten things up a little bit. I'm wearing my Victoria Beckham foundation drops again today and I'm loving it. So I'm kind of moving somewhere in the middle and I really like it. So there's clean girl aesthetic that I think we're over it. We're over it. We're done. But now it's moving into this weird like messy girl aesthetic. Have you guys seen this? What is that? How can we go from here to here? There's such an extreme. Why don't we just do what looks good and beautiful and creates harmony and just live right here in the middle? That's what I'm going for. So I think both of those trends are kind of silly in my opinion, and that's about that. Baggy everything. Baggy clothes everywhere you go. I am over it. Can we please integrate some shape, some form? Not like a ton, like we don't need to go full spandex, we don't need to bring back skinny jeans, that's fine. They've had their moment, but so has the baggy head to toe thing where you're wearing like an oversized huge sweater or big huge t-shirt and big huge baggy jeans, and the baggy jeans sometimes just make your butt look like it's 7 miles long and there's just no definition anywhere, and I'm so over it. In this video, I'm actually wearing something quite form fit out of protest. You guys, I love this top so much. You can wear like a nice form fit and have it be flattering. This one has like nice ruching on the side, nice long sleeves. Wear your baggy pants, wear the trouser, do the thing that makes you feel good and comfortable, but maybe play with it a little bit more where you're adding just a touch of shape, a touch of silhouette, a touch of I am here. You know, I personally think, and it kind of goes cleavage or legs, like there's always this extreme cleavage or legs, smoky eye or red lip, and baggy top or baggy bottom. Not both. Not both. This is one that I go back and forth on, and it really is it's a personal preference, personal. How many of you guys have been able to find futuristic looking sunglasses that look good on you? I have tried. I look like such a fool. I look like an idiot. So I'm kind of stuck in the way back with my big, huge sunglasses, and I have not found middle ground on that. Any recommendations are welcome, so leave those in the comments below as well. I am looking to improve my sunglasses wardrobe for warmer weather that will be coming in soon. I hope. I'm sick of winter. I'm also over lip oils. If I see one more glossy lip launch like this, or a lip oil, which honestly, they all look the same. They all look the same. Can we just do something new? Can we do something different? Because I don't want to buy another lip oil or blush. I'm over it. I have an entire drawer and I'm ready to just open the drawer up, take the 5 that I wear on repeat and go, it is obnoxious and obscene the amount of blush that I have purchased over the past 2 years. This seems to be like the never-ending trend. It's like every time you go in Sephora, you are seeing 3 things. Shine for the lip, skincare, which you don't need that much skincare, I'm here to tell you, and blush. I think what it is I'm wanting to be more inspired. And again, I want to share more information about how to look good for you. Like, how can we do that for your body type? If you guys have ever heard of the Kibbe body type, or learning what your season is and what colors look great on you, and how to work with your own personal style and not just like blush, 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 wear the blush. Like it started getting this like, wear the blush, where I even was like, wear the blush. And I'm applying blush and leaving the house. And my husband's like, are you okay? Because for me, high blush, like this is even kind of high on me, but high bright blush look so terrible on me that I had to like look back at a few photos and be like, oh girl, you thought you weren't falling for the blush blindness, but you fell. You fell hard and you bought a lot of it and you bought into it. My biggest goal is to just look more like me, but the best version of me. So I'm also gonna bring in another trend that I think needs to die, which is intentional oily skin, which we're calling glass skin. Maybe it's because I had acne as a teenager and I literally went on Accutane to shut down my oil production. But when I see people like loving their greasy skin, I don't think it looks that great. I think that you are misinformed. You have to be a very rare one with perfect skin for that to really look great, especially in real life. And the fact that we have products that are making us look greasy, just, I don't know, it doesn't do it for me. I'm all about methodically adding a little glow where it is necessary. Like, I'm not here saying matte skin only and like cake your makeup on, like that is not it. But when we have product after product after product preaching that our skin needs to look like glass, I'm just kind of over it. I've said enough. I've said too much. If I thoroughly annoyed you in this video, please be sure to let me know why in the comment section. I am all up for everybody's opinions. We are all entitled to have them. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Just kick back, me venting to you like the bestie that I think you are. And that is that. Enough for this one. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And other than that, you guys, go and have a great day, whatever you are doing. And I will see you all in my next video. Mwah.